absolutely correct. If I just go back to that original slide, I'm going to the summary slide. You should see it on your screen shortly. There is a slight delay. The 5 points on team context are the team goals, the team objectives, targets, initiatives, and key focus areas. And the point is that these are just examples of the team context, right? There could be more, and some of these are covered in the questionnaire. But the reason for mentioning these are, in the AEIOU framework, when we talk about awareness, it has to be awareness of the team context, which is these things, and it's not restricted to these things. This is just an example. It could be several other things as well. When we talk about enthusiasm, it will be for this team context. When we talk about involvement, the involvement has to be in one of the team initiatives, in one of the team objectives, involvement in one of the team focus areas, right? Similarly for ownership, and similarly. So we need to remember that the framework is to be used in the context of a team, and the team has to be chosen at the start of the exercise, right? So the team could be the organization, it could be the business unit, it could be the account, it could be the project, it could be a practice, right? And so on and so forth. Next question, you haven't mentioned celebration or appreciation in the framework. There is nothing more than a pat on the back by missing it in the framework. Do you suggest we aren't in need of it? Do you suggest we aren't in need of it? No, I don't suggest that we aren't in need of it. This is a self-development framework. It is an approach which an individual is recommended to use in a personal capacity, in a private capacity. And it is not a team exercise where we evaluate other people or other members of our team. And in a personal capacity, when I'm carrying out the exercise for myself, then the idea is appreciation or celebration, at an individual capacity, my appreciation for myself. Well, that will happen, but it's not something that needs to be explicitly mentioned. Otherwise, if this was a team development type of approach, then yes, appreciation for other people in the team, celebration of other people's achievements or any achievements would have been important, right? So the point is that it's not that we don't need it. Every team, every group, every organization needs to have appreciation, needs to have celebration. Out of scope is what I would say. The current scope is an approach for self-development, right, for an individual. Okay, the next question is, how about the environment? The environment needs to be supportive. Otherwise, all these can't work. Is that right or wrong? Very good question. It is right, and I would encourage you to think the following way. The purpose of the framework is to encourage individuals to contribute more or increase their contributions to their team and to their team's growth, right? That's the purpose. The idea is a structured approach for self-development and increasing contributions to the team's growth. Now, if there is a team which is discouraging people from contributing to its growth, then it's a very strange scenario, let me put it that way. Or in general, once this purpose is established, almost all regular teams with a primary objective to growth will encourage some activities. And I know that this sounds very theoretical and it sounds on paper, but we have seen it working. We have seen it in front of our eyes. We have seen it working. If you go to the lead of the team and ask that person point blank, do you want this team to grow or do you not want this team to grow? Why will that person say no? Why will any lead of any team say that we are here and we don't want to grow? Right? So every team's reason for existence is growth. Without growth, there's no survival. The team will get disbanded and dissolved. And anybody who says that I want to contribute to my team's growth and this is what I can do, you can't be discouraged, at least not consistently. Right? And if it happens consistently, then maybe we are in the wrong team. It's time to, take stock of where we are and why we are there. Okay, the next question is on, we'll take 2 or 3 more questions. Growth can still be directly linked to promotion. How do we motivate or convince at all levels that it is a byproduct? Very good question. My way of looking at it is the following. I think the definition, right, of growth needs to be examined. And personally speaking, and I have explored this with my team and it has worked. Can we define growth as increasing our contributions to our team, visible contributions and very clear contributions to our team? So what that means is that as an individual, my contribution this quarter to the team's growth has been more than the previous quarter, and this year has been more than the previous year. If we convey this message to our team members that growth is about increased contributions and the comparison is with yourself, not with somebody else. So are you growing in your comparisons with respect to yourself over a period of time? If that happens, and if somebody is consistently contributing to the growth of the team, then the point is that it will be difficult to keep that person away from promotions and progressions and so on. It doesn't make business sense, and that is what has to be conveyed to the person. In spite of that, if there are consistent contributions to growth and the system is such that the person does not get the promotions, or if the system discourages for various reasons the person from getting a promotion, then maybe there is a problem with the system itself and not a problem with that person or with the manager, right? So my recommendation is that as a manager, if a person is convinced that this person from my team has grown in terms of his contributions, then the promotion should definitely happen. Yes, in practice, it might get delayed by 1 cycle and so on. But if I were a manager and if somebody who I recommended or who I was convinced of consistently got a bad deal in the organization and did not get a promotion in time, then I would tell that person, this is not the right place for you. Okay. So I have time for 2 more questions perhaps. Let me see. The question is, I'll read it out. What if my senior or manager does not have a similar view or approach towards self-development as I have? That's a good point. What we need to remember is that you can develop on your own with or without your manager supporting you. What I mean by that is there's nothing stopping you from reading about a new area and becoming an expert in that area. There is nothing stopping, if you're a developer in C++, there is nothing stopping you. There's no manager who can stop you from getting a Java certification if you do it on your own initiative, right? So the point is that explore whether your manager is willing to support you, and if your manager for whatever reason is not very supportive or not directly supportive, then try to leverage the framework and grow. Remember that when we say growth, it means your own growth with respect to your contributions earlier on in time, right? So try to do that anyway. And at some stage, either the current manager will recognize and get involved, or another manager will recognize and get involved, right? So my recommendation, just go ahead and do it. next question, I'm working in a small R&D company. I'm an individual contributor, as in I don't have a team member. How can I develop myself without any team members, right? So the suggestion would be that, again, take it step by step. Draw out a chart of your team structure. So you are a single member in one team, right? Try to find out which is the larger team that you are a part of, who's your manager, which is the larger team that the manager is a part of, and so on. Which team is the manager a part of, and so on, right? Then try to find out what are the various initiatives which are going on at various levels. If there is nothing happening from your perspective, then try to find out from your customer, or go one level up to the next level of the team and try to find out what else is happening, and try to get involved there. At some stage, you will roll off the project, you will get rotated out of the project, and at that stage, if you are prepared for the next role, nothing like it, right? So be prepared for that. Okay, the next question is a personal one. I don't know if I should take it or not. Okay, being a technical person, what made you get into people-oriented topics? Please throw some light. Right, some of you, especially if you have been in my team earlier, will be smiling. Okay, so I will try to answer very quickly, which is, I think, so first of all, thank you for considering me as a technical person. After this webinar, I don't know why you feel that way. Perhaps you're one of my earlier team members. I'm not able to see clearly. Okay, so here is my opinion. In particular, the IT services industry, but in general, right, our society overall. If you see the IT services industry, finally, what type of a business is it? It's a people-based business. And companies do well, survive, succeed based on the caliber of the people who are there in the teams, in the organization. So, in my case, for example, and several of you who are in leadership roles hopefully will identify, the leader is as good as the team, right? If we are alone, there is no way we can achieve what we have achieved. Every one of us in leadership roles has been able to reach there today or do well because we were lucky enough to get good teams and good team members along the way, right? Now, if we acknowledge that leadership success is to do with the caliber and the quality of the team that is with you, then it is very common sense to spend a portion of your time and effort in giving back a little bit, in trying to enrich a little bit, and in trying to share a little bit if there is some value which can be added. Because if people can take away something from this session, for example, the hope is that you'll pass it on. Maybe some of you might write to me separately, and the network gets built and the movement gets built. So all this, what I'm presenting, is in the open. I will try to make these slides available in an area where everybody has access to them. I would encourage the people on this call, technical or non-technical, to take the material and reuse it if you find it of any value, either in an individual capacity or for your teams, right? So I will not be having any proprietary stuff for copyright and whatnot out there. And if it helps and if it can make a difference, then the purpose is served. So that's all that we have time for as far as the questions are concerned. There are a few more which I will try to answer offline. And I would now like to hand it over to the organizers.
Okay, we can conclude the session now. Thank you.
All right. I'll just need half a minute or 1 minute. I hope everybody can see the slide. This is the last slide. First of all, thank you, every one of you, for taking the time to attend this session. And I hope there was some takeaway. The course content is original, and I would like to use the word discovered rather than invented. The approach is very simple, hopefully simple to remember, and hopefully can be practiced without referring to the slides again. But if you would like to reuse and conduct such sessions at your premises, you're welcome to do so. I'd like to acknowledge whatever I have learned over years at Wipro, where I was earlier, and my current organization, which is Happiest Minds. Feel free to email me on any questions or clarifications, any comments, any experiences that you might want to share. Also, if you check my blog, which is mentioned there, then there are some other articles and insights. The current content, I will be trying to make that available as a downloadable PDF out there, which can be used from a reference perspective. And I will be hoping to have the slides available in a public domain sometime soon, so that people can take a look at them and reuse them as required. Thank you very much to all the 700, 800 odd people who have joined in for this. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Mr. Shantanu, for your informative session on success to self-development and innovative approach. It was indeed an enlightening session. I would also like to thank our participants for their support in making this webinar a huge success. The recording of this webinar will be available on TechGeek.com by tomorrow. Gentlemen, the next session in Tech Leadership series is happening on Wednesday, March 14th at 3 p.m. Topic for the webinar is 10 Mistakes of My Career. We'll be having Mr. Krishna Natarajan, Vice President Product Marketing, through Thought Workshop Studios as a guest speaker. So see you all on Wednesday at 3 p.m. Thank you.